Greetings and salutations, travelers of the internet. Welcome to the Lit Round Table. I'm Anna.
And I'm Joseph, and today we'll be your wise or not-so-wise mentors in today's audio adventure into all things storytelling and all things Studio Ghibli.
I'm so excited.
It's the 2022 Ghibli Awards on the Lit Round Table.
Yeah.
Which
really
is
fun.
deceiving because it makes it sound like a bunch of Ghibli movies came out in 2022. They did not. We're just we're gonna go through Anna's rankings of like her top picks for certain categories for Studio Ghibli movies. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it is. And someday, after you've seen a few more, we can do one for you.
Yeah, I have not seen as many as you, so made sense for me to be the question asker and you to be the answerer. So
yeah.
But before then, the usual stuff. What you watching? What you reading?
Well, I do have a quick little amendment for our last podcast because we talked about Snowden on Ice, and I made some comments about the casting of that movie, and it turns out Michelle Kwan is not in that movie, but there are a lot of ice skaters in it.
Oh,
just not Michelle Kwan.
I forgive you.
I looked it up after. Thanks. And it's also not available on DVD, so it's a VHS only or bootlegged to YouTube. So, real bummer there.
Nice.
But anyway, so I did not watch Snowden, even though I would have enjoyed watching Snowden on Ice this past week.
Gotcha.
So I have been watching Attack on Titan. These episodes just keep getting more and more intense. I watched quite a few Studio Ghibli movies in preparation for today, but I did watch two new ones that I hadn't seen yet, and those were Porco Rosso, which was really interesting, very different, but fun, and then Nausicaa, which was, again, very different, really enjoyable. So, and I'm also still watching Critical Role campaigns 2 and 3. I couldn't tell you which episodes I'm on for 2. I think 4, but I could be wrong. And I haven't started yet, but I have intentions of starting Outlander season 6 this week because it's officially airing on Sundays. So, I know.
That's good to know.
Yes, so that is my watching list right now. And then for reading, I got the My Hero Academia Volume 30, which is the newest English release. So that was really fun to read. I've technically read these chapters before, but accidentally on a not official English
you got
translation
the bootleg translation.
It was very innocently done. And not intentional. And I did buy the volume. So
yes,
I feel absolved.
Yeah.
It was an accident. And still working on Little House on the Prairie with my book clubbers. And we are going to be starting The Light of the Midnight Stars by Rena Rossner. I'm planning to start that this week. That is our next read-along book, but we'll have more on that later. And I just finished listening to a romance called Back to the Burbs, and it was okay.
Just okay.
Just okay. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, which is...
Out of 5?
Yeah.
Out of 10.
No. Out of 5. It was okay. It's not one... Sometimes I read like contemporary romances that have a really engaging story and are like really fun, and this wasn't one of... It wasn't that it wasn't fun. It was just like a lot of emotional turmoil the whole time. So, not as light and fluffy as I tend to like my romance novels. So, anyway. That's what I've been reading and watching.
Cool.
And playing, of course, the One Ring, our RPG game.
Which we finally got to play a session of.
Yes, it was very fun. first session of 2022.
And technically, yeah, because before it was just kind of a catch-up thing. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So for me, for watching, I have also been watching Critical Role and also Attack on Titan. But
Mm-hmm.
also, we have started watching a new anime on Fridays, and that is
Oh,
Assassination
we
Classroom.
did. Yes, I forgot because we were still watching episodes that I've seen before. So yeah.
Yes.
But yes.
Assassination Classroom. It is very fun.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it, but I think we're through what Hope has seen for sure.
Yes.
Not quite to where you left off, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. Yeah.
So that's been fun. For reading, I finished Lord of Chaos, Wheel of Time, Book 6. And I'm going to take a little break from Wheel of Time because that's a lot.
Yes.
I'm like almost halfway. That's so absurd that I'm almost halfway through the series and it's book 6. That's ridiculous.
And you're not actually halfway.
No, I'm just
almost
like
halfway.
almost halfway. Because I think there's 14. There's 13 or 14 of them. So,
yeah.
But it was good. I started The Way of Kings, which is the first book of Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive. And that has been interesting. It's, I've read the first era of Mistborn, like the trilogy. So I'm like, it's like familiar, but very different. Like the writing style is familiar, but a totally different world. And it's just caught me off guard, but it's been good.
Yeah. So correct me, is The Way of Kings more of a traditional fantasy or because I know Mistborn is almost more steampunk, is that right? Or am I totally off basis?
Not the era I read. The eras covered different time frames of like
Right.
technology. Like the first era is more true fantasy in
Okay.
like there's no cars, there's no gas, and like they're still like using swords and stuff. But then
Okay.
era 2 is more, I think it's more steampunk, but also maybe kind of westerny. Like they have guns and it's more
Oh.
yeah, so it's interesting. So yeah, that was Way of Kings. And yes, it is his big epic fantasy that he's
Okay.
writing with like the multiple installments. Like they're huge, they're chunky books. They're very,
Yeah.
very, very big. But
Okay.
you definitely get your money's worth on Audible then. If you use, you know.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
also finished The Blade itself, like we mentioned. That was a great time, and that I think as of recording
Oh
this,
yeah.
that's going up like this week.
Yes. Yes.
Which
The
it'll already
final
be up by the
installment.
time this airs. That'll already be up. So go check that out if you haven't seen it and you've been reading along.
Yeah.
And I honestly may want to burn my Audible credit that I have right now on the next book in that trilogy.
Oh.
Yeah, since it's fresh, I might maybe because I only like just started Way of Kings, so maybe I'll just be like, wait, hold on, I'm gonna finish the Solar trilogy. I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean. I have the same thought process, but I also need a little bit of a break.
Yeah, yeah,
from the grimdark because it's not my jam.
yeah.
But I totally respect and understand your wanting to get through the series.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if you listen to it, you can tell me if I need to like get on it and listen to it.
Okay, fair. And playing, I've still been playing the Pokemon game on Switch and the One Ring, and Hope and I have actually been playing more board games lately.
Oh, fun.
Her brother and his lady friend have come down and we've played some board games with them. And one of them is called the Red Dragon Inn, which is super, super fun. You are basically an adventurer who got back from a quest and you're hanging out at the inn and you're all playing as different characters and you can like
Oh.
you're like buying each other drinks and it's like the first person who either gets drunk or runs out of gold gets out and you're basically just it's like last man standing.
Oh, okay.
So that's been really fun. And there's like a million different characters with this game, and there's a million expansions to it. It's
Okay,
interesting.
that's what I was gonna ask if it was the one that had a bunch of expansions.
Yes, yes. But that's been really fun. We've played um, Monopoly, and I've been thoroughly destroyed both times. I'm not bitter at all. Um,
Are you just playing with Hope, or do you also play with her brother and
those were just
his
hope.
friend? Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hope is ruthless when it comes to Monopoly.
It's not even that. It's just that, like, okay, here's the thing. I will have an arguably better setup than she does. Like as far as what I have as monopolies, they're arguably better monopolies just
Okay.
because of their placement and how much money you get. But it's uncanny how she will just thread the needle every time, and I will just always the dice just decide that I lose is what I've decided. I'm just in a funk with the Monopoly dice. I don't know what's happened, but anyway,
You should try a different dice.
I guess
Pull one of your RPG dice and
I should
you
just.
should try Monopoly with a D20.
I was about to say I should
It would
roll a
take
d20,
forever.
and then if you roll a one, you go to jail.
Yes.
Natural one
That
sends you
sounds
to
like
jail.
a lot of fun.
Natural 20 sends you straight to go to collect you $100.
Yeah.
That'd be actually really interesting.
Or straight to free space. And you get to pass go. So
Yeah.
you could collect $200 and then whatever's in the middle for a D20.
Could you imagine rolling like a 17 and having to count 17 spaces on a Monopoly board? Gross.
Forever.
Gross.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway. So yeah, it's been fun though. There have been other games too. Like, because we got a lot of games for Christmas. So just kind of working our way through the game collection. But yeah, it's been a good time.
Love it.
Yeah.
A little jealous. I miss our like board game nights when you guys were in the same town as me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. At least we have
it's all
anime night.
good. Yes. Yes.
All right. So
Glad for that.
with that, we can move on to the Ghibli Awards.
The Ghibli Awards. Kind of like the
The Dundies.
oh my gosh. Thank you. I was like, I'm drawing a total blank on what that.
So we're going to go through a couple of categories, and you're going to give me who you think should win the category, kind of Oscars style. Although at the end, we're going to do your ranked top 5, and then we'll
Okay.
get to see which one you think should win Best Picture as your number 1 spot for Best Picture overall. That'll be your number 1 spot for the top 5.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, first question. Which Studio Ghibli movie do you think has the best animation?
Ooh. Okay, they all have such similar animation. They're all done in a fairly like similar style.
I guess
At least the ones that I've seen.
not so much like technical, but more like think breathtaking. Like which animation wowed you the most?
I'm gonna say, man, they're all so good. The one that wowed me the most.
Specifically with animation and visuals.
Yes. I'm gonna say, because it's just so fresh, and there were moments in it that I was like, wow, that was amazing. I'm gonna say Nausicaa. Which I don't think you've seen that one.
Nope, I have not.
But it's hard to tell it in a nutshell. The premise of the story is that there are civilizations that are at war with one another, and there's like this acid lake and the toxic forest. It's very like anti-pollution in a lot of ways. But the toxic forest is being protected by insects, and so the main character has like a glider, and she like flies through the air a lot on this glider, and that's very cool. And then when she's in the toxic forest, it's like there are like spores that will like erupt, and so like it kind of looks like snow. It's very visually amazing. and the insects are really creepy.
Nice.
But that's without giving any spoilers to the movie. That's kind of
Awesome. Appreciate it.
what happens. Yes.
Nice. So,
Yeah.
so best animation. Next, we're going to move on to the best music. So
this one's easy.
we did the animation for the visuals. Now hit me with best music.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Iconic. Very iconic.
Yes. It's the music that I like when I look at this list of movies, I don't necessarily think of the music in them except for Howl's Moving Castle.
Awesome. So, which studio...
Do I need to give a summary of Howl's Moving Castle like I did the other one?
No, well, that one you're mostly like trying to describe like why it was visually cool.
Okay. Yeah.
For this
okay,
one,
okay.
yeah, no, you're fine. Yes,
Okay,
Howl's Moving
sorry.
Castle has incredible music. You should, if you haven't heard it, you can just look up Howl's Moving Castle soundtrack, and you're welcome, because it's amazing. And
It's amazing and whimsical and just beautiful.
very beautiful. Which Studio Ghibli movie did you think was the most thought-provoking?
Ooh. They all have like something about them. But I think I'm gonna go with Princess Mononoke. I think I'm saying that correctly. Because that one is a lot about like nature versus industrialization and what our role is in protecting ecosystems and cultures. It's very good.
Yeah.
Also beautifully done. But very thought-provoking. Like that one, when I watched that one, I'm like, oh, I have to like really absorb this.
Yeah, a lot to chew on. And yeah, that's to say that for all of these categories, all of these movies like excel, and practically every single one is just Anna's pick for the best because they're all super thought provoking. Like Spirited Away is very thought provoking, and
yes,
it's a lot of deeper themes that are in that movie. But anyway, so that's thought provoking. Which one did you think was the most charming? Which one gave you the warm fuzzies?
Oh, well, there's a few, but I'm gonna
the most anyway.
I'm gonna pick My Neighbor Totoro because that one is the warmest and fuzziest. Because the Totoros are just so stinking cute. And the little girls are just so endearing. Just I love that movie.
And there's
most charming.
A cat bus. I mean,
yes.
And they're doing their little dance to make the trees grow. It's so cute.
Yes, I love that part.
It's so cute.
It's so good.
All right. So, since we're getting further down the list, we might get some repeats here. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Which Studio Ghibli movie is most likely to make you cry?
Oh, this is easy. The Wind Rises.
Okay. I haven't seen that one.
It's more of a historical account. I don't know how like historically accurate it is, but The Wind Rises is about a you're gonna have to cut out some of these because I'm thinking of the words and you're frozen, so I can't tell if you're there. Okay. The Wind Rises is about an engineer who's designing aircraft during World War II. And so it's a Japanese take on World War II and the conflict that this aircraft designer is feeling about the situation he's in, and that these beautiful like things that he's helping to create and design are being used for something horrible is like gut-wrenching for him. And he has his wife is very ill, but their love story is just beautiful, and it'll just make you cry, man, but it's so good.
Yeah.
But it's one that I don't want to watch many times because it does make me very emotional. But it's good.
That
It's not as lighthearted as the other Ghibli movies tend to be.
mm-hmm.
But
that seems like a subject matter that would be very that'd be a tearjerker for sure.
mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's like I just want to make
and his
cool
his
airplanes.
wife is an artist. I
Oh,
just see so much beauty in everything. It's just like, oh, it's so, and I can't even. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's so. There's a moment towards the end where you're just like, oh my gosh, I could just sob.
oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Well, his inventions are being used to like kill people.
mm-hmm.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Most likely to make you cry. Okay, so maybe it's that couple from that movie. So the next one, what's your or who is your Studio Ghibli OTP? Your one true pair.
Oh. There are so many great couples in all of these movies. I'm actually gonna say in Whisper of the Heart, and I don't remember these character names. But
Okay.
they're kids. They're kids. But they're young adults, I should say. And the boy goes off to like learn how to create I think he's learning how to create violins. And she's learning how to write. And so like they end up being separated for a year while they're like honing their crafts. And it's just so sweet. So I really love them. And I wish I could remember their names. But I also really love the couple in Only Yesterday, which is a story of a 30-year-old woman who likes to go in the summer to like do more traditional farming out in the country. She has like a normal job, but then in the summer she uses all of her vacation to go out and like work on a farm. And like through the telling of the story, you like get glimpses of her childhood. No, it's like it's like a she's going to it's like a flower farm or something. Like it's
okay.
I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's
when
it's
I
very
go
charming.
on vacation, I go to shovel the pig pens.
It's more that she wants to like connect with. It's really great. And so she is connected with a young man on this farm as well, and like their story is really cute. So, but then there's also Howl and Sophie and Howl's Moving Castle, which like just love it because he loves her even when she's an old woman. So I guess I've picked 3 OTPs, but I only know the names of one pair.
Howl and Sophie.
Howl and Sophie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those names are easy though. I mean,
yes.
Howl and Sophie are easy names to pin down.
I've also seen that movie more than the others.
Yeah.
So.
That's fair. Okay. Who is your overall favorite Studio Ghibli character?
Ooh. I'm going to say Sophie from Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
Because she's so spunky. And she's like a strong, independent woman. And when she becomes an old lady because of magic, she's like, well, I'm still going to be strong and independent. And I'm going to make sure this weirdo man doesn't get himself into too much trouble.
Yep. I'm going to clean up his house.
Clean his whole house.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Yes. And take care of this strange kid he's adopted. But, yeah, I love Sophie. I hope to be like Sophie. In some ways. Yeah.
With my limited Ghibli knowledge, being I've only seen Totoro, Spirited Away, and Howl's Moving Castle. Oh no, I've also seen Castle in the Sky. But that was a little fuzzy for me.
That one is very different.
I would pick the Scarecrow from Howl's Moving Castle as my favorite character.
That would be my second favorite character. I do love him.
Because he just pops up at the best times. It's like doingy doingy doingy.
Yes, and he just wants to be so helpful.
Yep.
He's very cute.
He is very cute.
I also really like Ponyo from Ponyo. But she is a weird little fish kid.
I was about to say, what's Ponyo about? Oh, she's a weird little fish kid. Okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, Ponyo is the story of a It's so funny because these movies are so not westernized and they don't follow the story structure that we're used to.
Yeah.
That it makes them hard to summarize. But Ponyo is a story of a creature that is a child that lives in the ocean, and she gets swept away in a storm wave one day, and a little boy captures her, saves her because she's like stuck in a bottle.
Kidnaps her, right?
Well, not really. He saves her from this glass bottle, and when he does that, he like hurts his finger, and she licks it, and because she tasted human blood and ate human food, because she's a magical creature, can then become a human. It's very convoluted. That's why I said Ponyo is a weird little fish girl. Because when she uses her magic, she will like kind of revert into the fish child again.
Yeah. Something about
Sort
this whole
of.
thing just like really reminded me of I Dream of Jeannie. Like,
Oh, it's nothing like I Dream of Jeannie.
no, I know, but just like finding, she's in a bottle and gotta save her from the bottle, but then she like licked blood. It's like, okay.
Well, he like had a cut on his finger and she licked it like an animal would. You know, like it's not like she's not trying to eat human blood, and it seems like an innocuous thing until she's returned to the ocean, and her father, who is a sea wizard, who was a human, it's confusing, voiced by Liam Neeson, asks her, "Did you eat the human's food?" And she's like, "Yeah, I did." Well, she doesn't say that, but she has. And then she is like very powerful, like magically very powerful. And he goes, "Oh no, did you taste human blood?" And then we find out that that's kind of a significant thing. Anyway, Ponyo is a very fun story, and but also scary at times because I'm not going to get into it. You should watch it. It's very confusing to explain.
Her dad's a wizard. You know, he should have told her that she would be breaking the first law if she ate the blood.
That's a great The Blade Itself reference. Well done.
Yeah. I mean, she broke the first law. She's an eater now. So.
Yeah. Yep. She's a vampire. No.
Yeah.
But anyway. So the little boy that she like becomes really good friends with, whose name I wrote down because I watched this movie recently. What is his name? Sosuke. So.
It sounds like a Naruto character. Isn't that a Naruto character?
I don't know.
Sasuke. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah, so Sosuke is a 5-year-old, the one that she becomes best buds with. And his mom, like, makes them ramen. Like, all the food that is handled in Studio Ghibli movies is very delicious looking for animated
It looks so good. And that's like the beginning of Spirited Away when they've got like that buffet of food in front of them. I'm like, oh, it looks better than the grass from Land Before Time.
Oh my gosh, the grass from Land Before Time.
That's the most delicious looking grass I've ever seen. When Spike is eating the grass.
Yes. Oh man.
It's great stuff.
Yeah. Or like when Hal is making breakfast in Hal's Moving Castle. Get the bacon and eggs. So good.
Yep. Makes me hungry thinking about it. Anyway. So, for the last little chunk, let's do your top. Oh wait, actually, I do have another one. I just remembered it. I forgot to write it down. Which Studio Ghibli movie do you think has the best humor? Which one do you think is the funniest?
Oh. I think The Cat Returns, which I know you haven't seen.
I've never heard of that.
So it's connected to Whisper of the Heart because in Whisper of the Heart, the boy that is learning how to make violins, his grandfather has like it's like a pawn shop, but maybe like a little nicer. He's got like knick-knacky things. And one of the knickknacks he has is a figurine of a cat in a suit with a top hat and the cane. And the grandfather likes to tell stories about the cat, or like it's connected. And so the girl writes a story about this cat. While we don't ever hear the story, we just know that she's writing the story. So the cat returns is like her story. So that's how those two movies are connected. It's her story of the cat figurine. And it has some really strange plot points, but also it's very funny. I laughed a lot when I was watching it. So, yeah, it's a good one.
And what was the title again?
The Cat Returns.
The Cat
Not
Returns.
at all like The Cat in the Hat.
I was about
Not at all like that.
Or is there a thing 1 and thing 2?
No.
Fair enough.
I think so.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very funny.
The Cat Returns.
See, now you have to watch all these movies so that you can either confirm or deny that my choices are
I know,
accurate.
right? Yeah. I mean, someday I want to watch all these movies and then also go. There's like a Studio Ghibli museum in Japan. That'd be super fun to go to.
Oh my gosh, I want to go.
Yeah. I have to look that up again. I don't remember if it's in Tokyo or Kyoto, but
Ugh, take me with you.
it was in one of those places. I'm going to have to look that up again. Someday I will be in Japan again. But, anywho, so go ahead and give me your top 5 ranking. What's your top 5 Studio Ghibli movies? And I'll rank the 4 that I've seen too after you.
Okay.
In order.
Yeah. So starting at number 5?
Yes, and then working your way up to the best picture.
Okay. This may be an upset.
Oh.
Because for number 5, I put Spirited Away, which did actually win an Academy Award.
Oh.
Right? Didn't that one actually win some awards?
Couldn't tell you.
I'm pretty sure it did.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure it did. But I'm putting it at number 5, mostly because I think that there's some cultural depths to it that I just do not understand because I haven't done the research. Like I don't know a lot of history about Japanese bathhouses, but I know that's an element in the story.
I had take this with a grain of salt, but I had heard that one of the themes that they're exploring is that in Japanese bathhouses, like back in the day, there was some prostitution happening, and the girls would sometimes be incredibly young, like the girl in Spirited Away. And so it was kind of making a statement about predatory behavior in bathhouses with that one spirit in particular that keeps like saying her name and like grabbing for her and all that stuff. I forget like what the spirit was called. It's the one
face, right?
Yeah, the no face.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's an interesting like again, like what you're saying with cultural stuff that doesn't like land necessarily with you, but
right. But I really like the way that it handles mysticism and
the witches and
like a coming of age kind of story, you know, for the girl. So it's a very good movie.
It's very whimsical, almost like fairy. Like, oh, don't eat. You ate the food. That means you have to dance forever till you die. Like that's kind of like the vibes that now you have to work in this weird bathhouse for ghosts,
right,
and spirits and stuff because you ate the food. You were tempted and you gave in. Yeah.
Right. Well, and the whole thing with the boy that like saves her when she first arrives, and we find out that he's like a river spirit later on, and that's significant to her life as a human. Like the story plot the story points are very good.
I need to watch that one again. I've only seen it the one time. I need to watch that one again.
Yeah, you do. It's good.
So anyway, so that was your number 5 spot. Hit me with your number 4.
Number 4 is My Neighbor Totoro.
Okay. Respectable.
because it
Placed.
is so stinking cute.
Mm-hmm.
And just a warm, fuzzy movie.
Yep. Yep.
So that's the story of two girls that move with their father out into the country. Their mother's in hospital. And they are exploring the ground around their new house, and they discover the Totoros, which are magical creatures that sleep a lot.
They're like forest spirits or something. They're like
They're forest spirits, yeah.
they have big ears and big mouths, and they're like rah. They're so funny.
Yes. And just big fuzzy bellies. Like they're just very cute. And they're very invested in the girls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then my number 3 spot is Only Yesterday. Just resonated a lot with a 30-year-old protagonist in a kid's movie.
Yeah.
It's like looking back at her childhood. So it's like you're following her as a 30-year-old and then glimpsing back at her childhood and like the moments from when she was in school that she felt the most awkward and uncomfortable. And I just really resonated with that.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
It's very well done. And then number 2 is Whisper of the Heart. Because again, resonated with the female character that's trying to learn how to write and is very flustered and frustrated in the writing process. And very emotional about it. And it's just really cute. So it's a good one.
Yep.
And then number 1, drum roll please.
I'm not gonna actually drum on my table.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Nice.
This is the first Studio Ghibli movie that I saw. And was very charmed by Howl and Sophie and the Scarecrow and Calcifer and the little boy whose name I can't remember that puts on a hood and becomes a little
Fizban.
Looks like a little old man.
Yeah.
Just it's a great movie.
It is a great one. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to debate on where I'd put Howl on my ranking. I think okay, so there's 4 total. I think number 4, it's not really fair, but I have to put it there because it's fuzzy and I don't remember a lot of it, is going to be Castle in the Sky.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
It's a very different Studio Ghibli movie.
Yeah.
And I would put that, so you haven't seen Tales from Earthsea, but those two are very different from other Studio Ghibli movies, and they almost feel like they're not.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's fair to put that one at 4.
Okay. For 3, I think I would do Totoro.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's so cute. Like it even if I had seen more than just the 4, I think it would probably still remain at 3. It would just be the number 4 spot that would maybe rotate out. And I would probably also add a 5th spot for the top 5. But you know what I mean.
Yes.
And then it just comes down to Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle for 2 and 1. So maybe it would change if I watched Spirited Away again. I'm gonna have to do Spirited Away as 2nd and do Howl's Moving Castle as number 1 also. But they both have the similar theme of the protagonist getting swept up into this weird moving building. Doesn't the bathhouse move? I feel like it does.
Bathhouse doesn't move, but it's only...
But it's like a spirit bath. It's not...
It's not visible.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah, the music and howls and just the whimsical nature of it. The Scarecrow. I've heard that it's like a very, very different adaptation from the book because it's all actually a book.
Yes.
I've heard
the same thing.
Brandon Sanderson actually has a podcast, and his buddy Dan, who is also an author, I forget his last name, but his name is Dan. He writes YA, like spooky YA books. Anyway, he has a podcast called Intentionally Blank because they can't figure out what to name it, so they named it Intentionally Blank. But
that's funny.
They had an episode where they talked about Studio Ghibli movies and specifically Howl's Moving Castle, and Dan said that he didn't really like Howl's and he thought it was boring compared to other Studio Ghibli movies. And he said that the adaptation is really bizarre because there's like the first half of it is pretty true to the book, and then it's like all of a sudden Studio Ghibli was like, there's not enough anti-war metaphors in here, and they like throw in a bunch of the stuff at the end. So a lot of that is creative liberty with the source material, apparently. But
Yeah.
I still like it. So whatever, Dan. I don't think it's boring. But
I mean, if we had to pick a boring movie from the list of Ghibli movies that I've seen, My Neighbor Totoro is like the
it's
lowest
also
stakes.
boring. Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's conflict, but it's not like really prevalent. You're mostly just following these two little girls around as they explore. And it's very charming, but it's not like action-packed adventuring.
Yeah, because like I mean, usually conflict will drive the story and the plot and stuff, but with these stories, that's not really what their intention is. They're supposed to kind of just sweep you away and get you caught up in this whimsical, charming world. You know, you're supposed to feel warm and cozy. It's not so much like dark and gritty. You know, well, from like some of them have darker themes.
I was gonna say some of the ones I've seen are.
And some of them are scary. Like,
yeah.
Like there are moments that are downright scary. But
like the spider guy from Spirited Away that like pulls the levers for the bathhouse. Mm-hmm. He's creepy. He's a good guy, but he's creepy.
You reminded me of the spider guy from Hunter x Hunter. That ant.
Oh, he reminds me of the villain that Critical Role encounters in the basement of that one tower in Campaign 3. Oh my gosh.
The Nightmare King.
The Nightmare King, yes.
Yeah.
He reminds me of the Nightmare King. Like I feel like they would look very similar.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah. That's where I would rank my the movies that I've seen so far. Howl's Moving Castle is my favorite so far, but I should watch Spirited Away again because maybe that would steal out the top spot. Who knows? But because I only saw it like one time a couple years ago on Halloween with some friends. But yeah.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts. So yeah.
I like your thoughts.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think of which one is the scariest now. Now that we've
Oh yeah,
it.
that's a category. Which Studio Ghibli movie is the scariest? I would say Spirited Away of the ones that I've seen.
Yeah. I think that maybe Princess Mononoke and parts of Nausicaa. Like I think those two both have moments of like really
because Nausicaa's the one with the like poison forest and the yeah, okay.
The toxic forest and the acid lake or whatever. Yeah, those two have very spooky moments. I didn't talk about The Secret World of Ariety at all. But that one's really cute. I really like that one. I think it's like The Borrowers. Honorable mention, The Secret World of Variety. Because I didn't mention it at all. And it deserves a mention. Otherwise, I think I mentioned... Oh, and Kiki's Delivery Service. Also, very good. Top notch.
Awesome. Would those ones end up in like a top 10?
Yeah, for sure. I had Kiki's Delivery Service on my top 5, but then I had to get Spirited Away in. So...
Yeah.
It bumped Kiki's.
Yep. Understandable. Well, cool. Well, that was enlightening.
And there's more that I haven't seen. So
true. So this list is subject to change.
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, I heard a lot of titles that I had never heard before, so I'm gonna have to look some stuff up and maybe watch a couple at some point. Rewatch Spirited Away for sure.
All of these.
Oh,
I own all of these, so you're welcome to borrow them, except for The Wind Rises. I don't own that one yet, but I will.
Nice.
It's on my list.
Sounds good. Very good. Alrighty. Well, that was fun talking about the Ghibli Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what we talk about next time. But yeah, check out our next read along, which is going to be remind me again of the title.
The Light of the Midnight Stars by Rena Rossner. This book once again does not have chapters.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going by sections.
Okay.
But it will be a good read.
I'm excited. It'll be good.
Yeah, me too.
So go follow along with that when we start reading that book. And if you were following along for The Blade itself and didn't know that we finished that one, that video should be up by the time this one airs. So go see the thrilling finale of The Blade itself. And yeah, be sure to check out our Patreon if you are interested in voting for the next read along after this one that we're doing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So the link to that will be in the description as well. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to the next podcast, but until then, go watch a Studio Ghibli movie.
Do it.
For sure. And of course,
and
go read
we'll
something
talk
cool.
at you next time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's try it again.
I
I didn't
faked you
know you
out.
were going to do that. Sorry.
I faked you
You
out.
did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So until next time, go read something cool.
And we'll talk at you next time.
Later.
Bye.